Welcome to Transmissions, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, we talk about all the third-party announcements from TFcon Baltimore. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, and this is episode 615 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that knows that whatever the outcome of the election yesterday, we're sure everyone behaved rationally afterward. I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko. I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team of Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pant.
Hello, everyone. Do I say it?
Yeah.
Do I say it? Let's talk Transformers.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're also welcomed by a new guest from the Cantina cast. We have Jonesy.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Jonesy is a longtime listener of the show, and we met at Celebration 2019.
Yeah, up in Chicago, right?
Yeah, and great, getting you back on here. So
yeah, it's always a lot of fun to be able to kind of cross-pollinate the shows, and getting to meet you back in Chicago a few years ago was really, really cool. When you kind of, especially like listening to each other's shows, it's just fun, right? We can do these types of things. So I'm really excited about this. Thanks for the opportunity.
So if you're ever wanting to kind of feed that Star Wars podcast urge, check out Cantina Cast. I got tons of great stuff.
Appreciate that.
You probably see me wearing Cantina's Cast shirt on the show every so often.
That's because we forced him to take the T-shirt when we met him. We were giving those things out like candy for a while. Like, please take these. We have 100 of them. We are not taking these back to Texas. So everything must go.
Cool. So I guess we'll get into this first, as always, thanking our Donatreon for the great people that support us on Patreon and PayPal. If you want to join them, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and you can get some awesome things, including some bonus shows like We Like Big Bots with Dr. Pants and Daryl, his co-host. I'm giving you top billing since you're here.
I appreciate that. I'm not used to being the star.
Yeah. So you want to tell what y'all doing? We Like Big Bots.
We talk about big bots because we are pro big robots and honesty. No, we cannot lie. Anyway, there's a bunch of episodes up there. What are we at? 14 episodes. We've talked about a bunch of different big robots in terms of stature, but also in terms of presence, because we've gone through Devastator, Scorponok, Predaking, but we've even talked about Cyclonus, Shockwave, other smaller stature characters, but big in presence. So check those out. Yes. But hopefully Daryl and I will get together and record some more episodes at some point, because if we don't, I'm pretty sure Charles will either fire us or murder us. I'm not sure which one.
He'll dock your pay for sure.
Just tell you he's really disappointed in you, and that'll be the crushing, the soul-crushing defeat you've never wanted from Big C himself.
Oh my God! Yeah, wow. Yeah, that hurt more than the thought of Charles murdering me.
I mean, you got to think he's got a few kids, so he's got that down pat. The whole disappointed father,
God.
just the guilt trip. But y'all might have to revisit the Devastator one soon.
We may.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. But wow, I'm gonna have to contact Daryl like right now.
Just tell him you're sorry in advance.
Yeah.
Well, with TFcon, it looks like you might have some other like big bots to acquire and review too, because there were some huge ones in here.
Yeah.
No. My money.
Yeah, your bank account's crying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also have our Empire of Rust, which is our live play RPG podcast, and episode 127, Rake Us to Your Leader, is available now at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And then next week, another Donatreon exclusive uncut version of the next episode will be out. So Donatreons get access to that bonus episode, and then the next week, everyone gets access to the cut down version on the free feed. So check that out, transmissionspodcast.com/rust, and enjoy the live play RPG podcast that Mike and his cohort get into. And it is is blown up more than I could have imagined.
It is absolutely fantastic. All of them do such a great job, and the story and everything is funny. It's action packed and it's emotional. There's been more than one episode where I wanted to cry during. So
yeah.
They do a great job.
And then we still have issues of our Transformers #1, our exclusive cover with art by EJ Sue. You can go to transmissionspodcast.com/comic and pick that up if you want one. And we still have a few copies, so check that out. And I would say that if you're going to TFcon, but we're not doing that anymore because TFcon is over. And then finally, we have, I was unsure last week, but we do have a code for toyhacks.com for the first half of the month of November. So until November 15th, you can save 15% at toyhacks.com with the code TurkeyBots. This code can be used with your RoboPoints, but cannot be used with other discounts and promotions. And after the 15th, you can just imagine they're going to have Black Friday promotions. So that's likely going to be as good or better than the 15%. So
you had me worried for a sec. I thought there wasn't going to be a coupon code anymore and I wasn't going to save any money.
No, you will save money. And, they're going to have great Black Friday deals. So if you want to get some stickers to decorate your figures, or they have the stages, the backgrounds, or they have the armory where they're making their own weapons for figures. So check that out. They do some great stuff there. All right. With all of that out of the way, how about we talk about some toys? Well, the first thing I wanted to just kind of briefly go over, they introduced the Mandalorian crossover a few weeks ago. And since we have Jonesy here from the Star Wars podcast, I wanted to just kind of get his thoughts on the figure. Since I usually get flack for being the Star Wars guy on the show.
Well, I'm here for your support, Jeremy.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see what you thought of it. And, it's definitely a different take than what they did previously with the crossover figures. It looks a little bit better in my opinion, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on what you thought the figure was.
I think from the figure standpoint, I actually think it looks pretty good. I like the N1 Starfighter mode quite a bit, actually. Just the design. I do like how the colors actually accentuate on the Starfighter. I don't know that I like them as much on the Mandalorian as in robot mode, like the brown pants and the red on the leggings. And I'm sure some of that's just to break up the monotony of the gray. Mm-hmm. Like most of my issues with the figure are more color scheme. I would have liked to see a more silver rather than a flat gray.
Yeah.
Things like that kind of accentuate a little bit more. Maybe not, you don't have to do shiny paint or anything like that, but just something that gave it a little more character or made it feel a little more metallic, or at least look a little more metallic. I mean, the helmet is spot on. I like that. I like the accessories. We were kind of talking before the show. I like the accessories that they come with these things to show, engine wash and that type of thing, and the blaster wash. I like the shield too, that the base is actually usable in some way. I think that was creative, and I think that works, pretty well. So you and Charles said it pretty well too. This would have been really cool to include a Grogu figure, or maybe even a Mando and Grogu. And I know, not really the vibe they're going for with some of that, but the bubble in one mode looks a little funny. I was actually trying to figure out where the bubble actually was in robot mode, or is it just come off? Like, am I just missing where it goes?
It's probably on his back. We don't really get a good backpack shot.
Okay.
We get that one shot where it shows how the cape connects, but I'm wondering if the way it transforms is somehow that like folds under and hides away inside the chest.
Or I just pop off too, I guess, in some way. But yeah, the cape's kind of cool. When I was listening to the show and listening to you and Charles talk about it, you say cape. I'm like, well, what would they actually do as a cape? I didn't realize it was the rest of the rest of the base.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that they were able to incorporate that and just, like you said, make it usable.
Yeah, it's cool they can use it for multiple purposes too. You don't just get pigeonholed into using it as a shield. Like you can actually fold it, or take it apart. So that's pretty neat. I think overall, I mean, $55. So it seems a little on the pricey end, but it has Hasbro Pulse. So I guess that makes some amount of sense. I like the like the back of the Starfighter could be used as both a lance and a gun. Y'all talked about some of that too. So again, the versatility of this and from a play perspective actually seems really good. And the way that the engines use are the shoulder pauldrons, that stick up from it actually looks very reminiscent of like early Transformers figures to me. So
yeah,
like overall, I really like it. It's more the kind of the color schemes that they pick that I probably have a few nitpicks by, but
yeah. Now that you pointed that out, I'm like, oh, because I mean, the Mandalorian is I guess it's early Mandalorian when
season 1, right? I guess,
but when he has the Starfighter, he's got the shiny
right.
armor.
Yeah, he's already made that transition. So, we're kind of blending things. But again, I get it. They're trying to make it look not so, monotone, I guess, and boring. So you throw little things in there to wash it. But overall, though, I mean, I think it's actually a pretty fun figure. Aside from the price tag on it, I think it's actually pretty fun. But it's about 7.5 inches tall. So it's not like it's a super small figure, though.
No, and honestly, for a collaboration figure, that's probably been about the going rate for that kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But I 100% agree with you that like kind of the plain gray, I don't like that much. I wish it had been more of a silver, and it doesn't have to be chromed out like super reflective,
right?
But just something with a bit more pop to it, because it kind of gives it this unfinished look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alex in the chat's just kind of saying what I'm thinking. He thinks it's got the Star Wars tax on top of it a little bit.
Yeah.
So Hasbro Pulse plus the Star Wars tax, the premium charge from the bringing the brands together, perhaps. But yeah, I think even if they just went maybe a touch darker with the gray to give a silver type of thing, I think it could have been a little bit different. But overall, really enjoy this figure. Not sure about the screws being able to be visible on the shoulders. Yeah. They could have put that in the back, just flip those around, but.
That's where something like Toy Hacks, that they're going to have set and be able to cover that up.
Or somebody makes an upgrade kit for something. I don't know what they would upgrade it with unless they wanted to put a Darksaber accessory.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah.
There's going to be some company out there who does it. They're going to make a Darksaber accessory that's going to fit into the hand of that. And maybe it'll come with screw hole covers too.
Make a Darksaber with a matrix in the hilt.
So let me ask you a question though. Would you rather the N1 or would you rather like the, what was the original ship called?
The Razor Crest.
Yeah, the Razor Crest.
I personally would rather the Razor Crest, but that's only because I am not a big Star Wars fan. Mm-hmm. And all I look at when I see that the N1 Starfighters, it reminds me of Phantom Menace, and I don't necessarily have great memories of Phantom Menace. So I also just like the Razor Crest as a ship. It was kind of a unique design.
It was, yeah.
But it would also just be a big box in vehicle mode.
Yeah, that's the concern of how do you make that look good. Although I will say this though, they have taken boxy figures these days and actually done pretty unique, creative things with them.
As I said that, I was thinking the Origins Wheeljack, and that's a box as well.
And that figure's fantastic though. Yeah. Like I don't know how it gets bigger as a vehicle like that. It's mind blowing, but
overall pretty cool. I like this figure. It would actually entice me to consider buying it though, as a Star Wars fan. But also I don't really get into the crossover. Like I like my Transformers to be Transformers, right, and my Star Wars can kind of be Star Wars, and they don't really cross pollinate all that much. But that's kind of the going theme these days. You got He-Man crossing over, you Transformers, everybody's kind of crossing over in everybody's worlds, now. So why would this be different?
A rising ship raises all tides.
There you go.
And I did get a shipping notification. The Knight Rider crossover figure was supposed to come out in December, and it's going to be here tomorrow.
Okay, now that one, that they can cross that over every single day, as far as I'm concerned. That was awesome.
That one, I'll have a nice Amazon delivery tomorrow and have it for the show next week.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get on to what we actually are here to talk about, and that is the TFcon Baltimore third-party panel. There's a ton of figures. Charles and Daryl streamed it, but the audio was just not that good. So I was going to try to play some of that, but it's not going to work. But we have a ton of things to talk about. So I'm going to go through a few of the companies, and then we'll discuss, highlights of figures we like, and then we'll go on to the next. So we're starting with a company called Defense. It's unfamiliar to me. I think they're fairly new. They're doing the War for Cybertron styled figures, and they're starting off with Grimlock. And so we have pictures of him, and looks like just either a 3D model. I think it is a 3D model. Not even real plastic yet, but it is just War for Cybertron Grimlock. Looks like he comes with a big sword and a big shield, just like the game. Next up, we have Mechanical Skull Studio. They have MSS-03 Armada, which is an Armada Demolisher. And then a few pictures of that. And then we have MSS-02R, which is the Armada Seeker Hellwarp with a Skybite head. And
no, that's the Skywarp head.
Oh, that's a typo. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, a Skywarp head for the Seeker. So and then we have the MSS-01S, which is that the little figure there? Or no, that's just the regular one.
Hold on. MSS-01 might be the Starscream figure, and it's showing the little figure it's coming with. And I'm guessing that's probably supposed to be Alexis from Armada, who is like his human companion, human friend.
Okay, yeah. So then next up we have from New Age, their G1 Megatron. I believe we've talked about this on the show before, but this Megatron looks absolutely fantastic. Comes with multiple faces, his mace, his Energon sword, a pistol. For some reason, Megatron needs a pistol, and he transforms into a gun. So.
It's probably coming with the pistol because this is supposed to be a Studio Series 86 gun Megatron.
Right.
And you can't do the 86 Megatron without the gun that killed our childhoods.
Right. So, and then we have a G1 toy styled version of Megatron that looks like the G1 toy should have looked like if it was developed now, where it didn't have the big crotch that the original toy had. But I think this is essentially the same figure, but has a sword, a mace, and then two faces, but very much resembles the original toy in terms of coloring and decals and stuff. And then we have H70 Oddball, which is their version of Warpath, which looks pretty nice here. He comes with a little blast effect as if he's shooting something out of his turret. We have H66 Bomber, which is Gears, and H68 Bofer, which is Swerve, and those are mold mates, so very similar. So I guess we can stop there with those. What do you guys think? What were some highlights from those three companies?
I like the Armada love that we're getting. My only issue is I am already invested in Fans Hobbies Armada figures, and I don't know what scale Mechanical Skull Studio is doing their figures in, if it's supposed to be masterpiece scale or what it is. So I don't know what to do with that. But it does look really, really cool. I do like the posability on the Seeker mold, and the Demolisher looks really, really cool as well. The New Age figures, I mean, the Megatron's really cool. If you've got a Studio Series 86 Prime and you want a gun Megatron, I'm glad they're doing that because Hasbro won't do that. So that's pretty cool. I'm a little weirded out with Defense doing, because like I don't know that I've heard anything from Defense before, and the first thing they show off is Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, when like there's been third party and mainline versions of that around for a while, and I don't know if this is any better. Right. And like, again, I don't know what the scale is. I don't know if this is masterpiece scale or legend scaled or chug scaled. So it looks good.
Right.
I just don't know why they chose to do that one.
Yeah, I like the look of the Grimlock. I mean, it's just a model right now, or 3D model, so it's difficult to make sense of it. What's the paint scheme going to look like, too? I think a lot of question marks on it. I think the Megatron is absolutely fantastic looking. Y'all have pointed out. It's just great they finally get the scales right, that you can actually make this a good figure when he's transformed, not in the gun mode. and it still fits as well. And it's like the one, like I'll talk about another one here in a second. Like when you think about back from your childhood with the G1 figures, they were just not like, some of them worked really well, some of them just didn't work at all. And Megatron, unfortunately, was one of those. It was just clunky; it couldn't transform very well. And it's good that we finally get a kind of a real version of that actually feels right. I think the other one that really stood out to me, though, and this is again my jaded childhood, is I had Warpath as a kid, like the original figure for the mini bots, and if you remember, it just had the treads. It was fixed. It was horrible. Like it was like the worst toy ever. And then we get things like this one with Warpath. It absolutely looks brilliant. I love this look. I mean, the color scheme looks great. Like you said, the exploding projectile out of the chest. Great posability on this. Like this is a figure that I would look. I'm curious the actual size of this. I don't know if they actually said what the size of it is, but looks absolutely wonderful, transformed in both modes. And I think this is the figure that I would actually like consider going to get and actually do something with it. Be proud to display it. This is a pretty neat one.
Yeah, I don't know if, what the scale is, but I believe these are legend scale. Is that right?
Yeah, New Age does almost exclusively legend scale figures. The Megatron is the only one that's kind of weird, where they're making it the generation scale to fit in with everything else.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the big problems with the G1 toys was just it didn't match what you were seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
Especially with Megatron.
Makes sense in the 80s, right? But we're in a different place now. So it's pretty cool we could get these types of articulation and everything else on these in a figure. So, and again, we didn't see any prices. They weren't on the presentation or anything. So we're not really sure what someone's going to run. But, and I think even Alex in the chat was hesitant on, like, he doesn't want to get too excited because we're not really quite sure what these are going to run.
All right. Well, let's go on. And next one we have is from Iacon 3D Labs. Not super familiar, but they say established 2021. So they have accessories, a legend scale Tyrannosaurus throne. So if you have a legend scale Grimlock, you can have them sit there. Here they have a example figure not included. And it has some weapon storage as well. Then they have an Arc Command Center. And this is just, from the cartoon, chair sitting at like the Arc console. And these are more for your displays. And I don't know if that, it says legend scale. So those are all the smaller figures there. And then they have an Arc and Nemesis display riser. Oh, this is still this wasn't on the list. Arc charging station and Arc storage are also separate things that they offer. And then the Nemesis and Arc display risers. So I believe these are just kind of, if you want to show off your figures and make it look kind of the background is the either ship. So, I mean, those are fun. These are just, they would just make your shelves look a little bit better. Next up, we have Iron Factory, and they have Death Cobra, which I believe this mold was a TFcon exclusive last year. No? Oh, I thought I remember seeing it, but it looks like Serpentor. I remember saying it then, and now this is the Serpentor look in the color scheme. And it looks really good as someone that is kind of a fan of the Serpentor era of G.I. Joe. And I do, I think it looks really good. And he transforms into a helicopter. I can't remember what the original one was for that.
What do you mean the original one? Like,
I guess this goes into the Lio Kaiser, doesn't it?
He is the seventh member of the Breast Force who died in victory.
Okay.
And so he can become an arm where Hellbat would go.
Okay.
But as you go through, you'll see that he can also.
This is where my Japanese series knowledge fails me because I don't have it.
That's okay. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he replaces the arm there for Hellbat in its place, but he's also coming with a bunch of extra stuff.
Right.
So
that color scheme is giving real Voltron vibes for me on this Lio Kaiser.
Oh yeah.
With the arms and legs. But then
That's the extra bits.
These are the extra bits with the Lio Kaiser, just kind of.
Yeah, they had the like crazy, almost helicopter blade wings on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's Hellbat on the back.
Right. And I don't know if there's an image of it here, but you can make Hellbat the arm and put Death Cobra on the back instead. They are interchangeable there.
Okay. So that's really cool. It gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
And then they have a new figure that is announced here as the Fallen ? And I think, judging from what Hasbro announced last week with the Fallen figure with flames everywhere, I think that's a safe bet that this is probably Iron Factory's take on the Fallen. But you get a figure with all of these like flame attachments. It looks really, really cool. And then let's go on to, he goes into a tank. I think that's pretty safe. That's the Fallen. And lots of pictures of this guy. So next we have TFC Toys, and they have announced Jaikaru, which they're taking on Hunger. So they're also working on Combiner here. This is just a 3D model at this point, but looks pretty good. And you can get his a double-headed dragon mode. And then one more for this batch. I guess we got here all these. And this is the Monstructor.
Abominus.
Abominus. Okay.
Yep.
And they're calling it Satan. Somewhere Dana Carvey is as a church lady going, Satan. No. Anyway, so it's Abominus here. And so it looks like the Hunger is going to bring this all together.
Mm-hmm.
And last one in this batch is Craftsman Toys, which another one I haven't really heard of before. And they are doing, here's the Technobots. They're starting with Tactic Lord, which is Computron. Or no, it's out of order here. Sorry, they're starting here with Steel Drill, which is Nose Cone. And he goes to be one of the legs. And then we have a 3D model of Motor, which is Afterburner. Razor, which is Scattershot. And then I think we have a picture at the end here. No, we don't. Oh, and then here's just the whole team Tactic Lord, which is Computron. So out of these, anything stand out? Got a few combiners coming up.
I've had the Death Cobra pre-ordered since it first showed up on BBTS because and I've shown off one of them before. I am all in for the Iron Factory Lio Kaiser boys because I need me a Lio Kaiser to go with my Victory Saber. And the only other one that exists is the TFC one, which is stupid expensive and too big. So I love me some Lio Kaiser. I love the Technobots they're doing here, and I am curious what the scale is because I don't know. I just want to know.
We got unless someone can read Chinese.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it looks really good. I like the renders on all the figures, and it just looks nice. I have a special place in my heart for Hunger because I did not have any of the Terracons growing up. The only one I had was Hunger, and they TFC has been working on that combiner for years. This is the last piece of it, so to see that finally come out, it looks really cool. I'm waiting to see the colors. But I may just get that figure right in the whole thing just because I love Hunger. I love the cool pink and white two-headed dragon. Mm-hmm. It's just such a cool figure. So
it's such a wild mall. That is so cool.
I love it. I love the 80s. I know TFC, DJ Rowan just said TFC will be MP scale. I know that one will. I'm just, it's the other ones I'm not sure about. These new companies that are just popping up, and I'm trying to look stuff up while we're doing this, and I can't find any information.
I mean,
the Fallen is just ridiculously cool too.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was thinking, I'm like, somebody did a Legend scale Fallen that came with all kinds of flame effects already. It was Iron Factory. They did one. So that was the Fallen. This one is specifically the Fallen Megatronus.
Oh.
So it's actually it's kind of a redo of the old Fallen figure. It still has a very similar build and whatnot. But they added way more kind of transparent plastic, and the horns are absolutely nuts.
Trying to be more in line with modern takes on it.
I'm guessing so, yeah. And I'm going to take a shot and say that the Craftsman Toys Technobots are going to be Legend scale, because I just found a pre-order for Nose Cone and it's at about 4 inches.
Okay.
So
even at that size, the detail does look really nice, though. I mean, the detail and the color scheme for the ones that they show color too. I think the schemes that they picked are actually working pretty well too. So it should be a pretty nice set.
And usually with Legend scale figures, you do see some like more joints visible or screws or something, just because you hard with that scale to hide things. And this, I mean, it's doing a really good job of hiding it. All right, let's move on. We got right window here. We have from Collection Space, Star Queen, which is a female take on Starscream. And it does a lot of the typical things you would expect from a third-party company. And this is just a 3D render right now. It is 190 millimeters, so I'm not sure what that is in real measurements, but
about 7-ish inches.
You know, so like deluxe scale, I'm guessing.
7-ish inches. That's I mean, no, that's probably more Voyager leader scale that we've been getting.
All right. It looks like a lot of the plane can separate from the backpack. Like the backpack forms like a jetpack in robot mode, but it looks like here it can separate from the frame of the figure and give a more non-backpack look. So, I mean, that's interesting. It's a way of dealing with backpacks, I guess. Personally, I think the jetpack look okay. Here we have some in jet mode. A few different
the wings are configurable, like
yeah,
kind of forward facing or traditional like rear swung.
Yeah, we got a few different configurations you can do, and then you get 4 different faces and 4 different sets of hands. So that I'm sure there are certain people on the podcast related to the podcast that are excited about a unique Starscream figure. Next up, we have Make Toys, and they have MTRC 08 Violet Hour, and this is it not Thundercracker because it's more purple.
It's Ion Storm.
Ion Storm, yeah. Never remember. It's essentially a Synchro purple.
Yeah.
And it's limited to 200 pieces worldwide. I believe this was a TFcon exclusive.
That's what Make Toys does.
Yeah.
They just paint Starscream a different color and put it out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the gold cockpit though. That's just looks kind of odd.
I have a little bling. Next up, we have Iron Trans, and this is a Victory Saber and Victory Leo, which is a very interesting choice since we just got that from HasLab. But looks like a pretty good take on it. Pretty chunky, big figure. 42 centimeters tall in fully combined mode. What was the wingspan? It was 57 centimeter wingspan.
Baby.
So if you missed out on the HasLab, here you go.
Wait, so what's the threshold to get on the big bot show? Like what's the threshold?
We've actually done some pretty small figures to lead up to the big figure, but did we do oh crap, we've done a Victory Saber episode, I think.
You did because the HasLab.
Well, but by the time you get it, you'll be ready to do another one. So it's fine.
I'm just going to do another one. I'll do one by myself for this.
Do a kind of a a show where you're revisiting multiple old figures that have new things like Devastator in this.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
All right. Next up, we have Bingo Toys. They have BT-08 Galileo, which is going to arrive in 2025. This is another Computron.
This one is MP scaled.
Okay. So this one is big. Starts off with BT-0802 Newton, which is Afterburner. They have BT-0801 Hertz, which is Strafe. And then BT-0803 Einstein, which is Scattershot. So these are the three that they've announced so far. And Masterpiece scale, and they are big and chunky, and they're all 3D models right now. So we will wait and see. Bingo Toys is another newish company, so I have to let them kind of get a track record behind them, or we kind of put them in the same class as like Make Toys. But these look pretty good.
Bingo's done some interesting stuff, but they have not done anything really G1 yet.
Right. We have Magic Square doing a brawl, and that's a pretty G1 blocky looking figure. I think that's their style.
It doesn't say it here, but these are Masterpiece scaled.
Okay.
Because they did a Legend scale Bruticus already, but now they're upscaling them from Masterpiece scaled.
All right. And then next,
that pose makes me laugh every time. They've got him doing like a high kick split.
Yeah.
So cool looking.
And then next up, we have a Shockwave, which looks really good. I think this looks more Legends.
Yeah, because it's probably going to function as Bruticus's gun.
Oh, right. That's probably what the hand is that's holding him. And then they have a Swindle, which, base looks great. We'll say the front of the Jeep mode looks like two eyes. I think it looks like a face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got the legs of Bruticus here. And I feel like the figures, they get the cartoon aesthetic of the figures.
Mm-hmm. One thing I do like about them, the finger articulation on these is quite impressive. Those where you can do a lot with them to pose. Like they've got here with Brawl's hand on the shoulder. Mm-hmm. Like you can do things like that with some of these figures that you can't with all the others, which is kind of nice.
Yep. And then we have from 01 Studio, they're getting into their Devastator, and this is starting off here with Catastrophe, which is Scrapper. And then we have and their combiner, I think Desolator is the name of their Devastator. And then we have Trimmer, which is Long Haul. I like that he has part of the Devastator chest piece on his back.
Yeah.
And then we have next one is and it looks like this is an all-in-one. They're not cheating at all, even with the chest piece.
Oh my God.
So that's impressive. And then we have coming up, I think those are actual real plastic, I believe. And then these are 3D models. We have, was it?
Is it Demolition?
Oh, it says Demolition. It's not. Oh, there it is. Right. Awesome. Demolition, which is Hook. And then Disastrous, which is Mixmaster. Quarry, which is Scavenger. And Earthshock, which is Bone Crusher. So it's going to be a pretty, pretty big Devastator. So be pretty nice when it comes out. They're also doing a Dinobot combiner, and they're starting here with Swoop or Erebus. He looks much less much less detailed than the Devastator figures that we were just seeing. But this is just a 3D model. Then we have Keylud, which is Snarl.
These are Cyberverse versions.
Oh, didn't okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice take.
That's a weird take, but I like it.
Yeah. And then Krakatoa, which is their sludge.
Yeah, sludge is the one that doesn't really quite work too well for me in Dino mode.
The weird toes in the front.
Yeah, and even the way that the kind of the shoulders in the front.
He looks a little bit too vicious. Sludge was the friendly, dumb one.
I do like the articulation on the neck, though. But yeah, just the way that it kind of shapes.
And then Mauna Loa, which is Snarl.
Slug.
Or
Slug, yeah.
Sorry, Slug. Sludge. And then that's all their Dinobots right now. So I guess they're holding back on Grimlock.
If they're doing Cyberverse, I bet they're doing Volcanicus then.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and then they have a couple other figures here. They have Boardcon, which is Broadside. And no idea of scale.
Had a huge response, though, in the video, too. Like, there were a lot of people cheering for this one.
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say, I think there's only been one third-party Broadside, and it came out, like 10 years ago at this point. But this one, like, it's G1 style.
Mm-hmm.
So that's insane. People have been needing a G1 style Broadside for a long time. And he comes with an axe, which I know the G1 toy did, but that's dumb.
You're an aircraft carrier. Why do you need an axe?
It should be an anchor. It should be an anchor.
Yeah, it should be. If you want to do an axe, make it look like an anchor.
Right.
Oh, see, no one asks for our opinion on these.
I know. And then a really, really bad plane mode, as it should have.
Yeah. There is a size comparison here on the next slide. That's him next to us. Yeah, he's about 35 centimeters.
No, 345.
Oh yeah.
Wow. 35 centimeters. Sorry.
He's about 5 centimeters, which I want to say is. Let me think about this. He's about a foot tall.
Wow. And he's sitting next to a 12-ounce can.
Right.
Which comes up to his knee.
Yeah. So he might be bigger than a foot. I'm doing quick math in my head.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. And then they have announced a Fortress Maximus, a Metroplex. They're just calling Fortress.
This thing looks absolutely killer.
Yeah, and they did the Unicron and Primus previously. It looks like this is in scale with those because they have a size reference to their Primus.
How is that in scale? They were planets. He's a city. It's not scale. He's just really freaking big.
Have you done a Metroplex on Big Bot?
I don't think so because I don't own one.
Well,
I'm not buying. No, I'm not buying this one.
All right.
Made of money.
If you want to peer pressure Dr. Pants into Metroplex, please
send me money.
Yeah, send him money too. But
yeah, that'll help.
All right. Well, let's talk about those real quick. And we talked about some during, but any standouts there?
Oh, I already have the Iron Trans Star Saber, so you better believe I'm getting that Victory Leo. Because the Iron Trans Star Saber is absolutely fantastic. It is such a cool action figure. The transformation, I will admit, is not the best. It's a little hard to get into the V-Star mode. But as a giant version of Star Saber, it is way better than the Masterpiece one. And the style is just awesome. I cannot wait for the Victory Leo to come out so I can do Victory Saber. Kind of want the Magic Square Combaticons. kinda. I like the G1 style for them, and they just look super cool. The 01 Studio Constructicons, it's cool they're doing them like that. There is too much detail. There is too much like greebling all over it that like I just cannot get behind it. The Dinobots are cool. I want to see how the combined mode turns out for those. I'm glad they're doing a G1 broadside. It's a dumb figure. He is a dumb looking character. His aircraft mode is great because it's just a flat surface on something, but the airplane mode is garbage. But it always was. Like there's nothing.
It's accurate.
It's accurate. I just personally am not a big fan, but to whoever else, great. And Fortress, I mean, it's a Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. It's big. It's chunky. Z1 Studios has done some big chunky bots. So let's go. Let's go.
Everyone pressured Daryl into buying one.
Yeah, pressure Daryl.
I'm with you on these. I think Brawl probably looks the best of the Magic Square. Kind of fits the G1 mold really well, both modes. I really like that figure. The paint scheme they got perfect on it. I kind of like the Dinobots, like the way that the style they chose for some of those. They're nitpick a couple of them, but like I love Sludge Transform. Is just one of my favorites. I don't know why, just probably the one I had growing up. But and then I'm always curious about this Fortress figure with Metroplex. Like I just want to see it. Like I literally just want to see it. I want to see what it could do. Is this going to transform, or is this just in this mode?
I'm sure it will transform the other ones.
It just looks so. I mean, the detail on this thing just looks absolutely stellar, and it just looks like a behemoth. And again, in the chat we had 13.6 inches, I believe, is the translated height here. So this thing is a monster. This is so cool, and I totally agree about the Constructicons. By the way, all the greebling, all the detail on it is just too much. It distracts. It kind of distracts from the figure, and it makes them look a little boxier. And maybe that's all in service of of Devastator. I don't know, but it just looks a little bit too much individually on their own. So it didn't really strike me too much. But Metroplex all day, every day. Go for it, Daryl.
All right. And then last batch of companies we have here with X-Transbots, their Misfire figure. I don't believe this has a name yet. Just a single picture of Misfire. Looks like there's a second head with multiple faces. More to come there. A fantastic model. It's another new company. FMO4 Doc, which is Ratchet, and the G1 Ratchet. You can get both a red head or a white head. And then behind him, you can see their previous one that is FMO3 Warhorse or Ironhide. So you're doing a G1 Ironhide, you're going to get a Ratchet out of it.
Call me cynical, but I'm pretty sure Fantastic Model is just fans' toys because they've done that in the past where they will have to go under a different name for certain figures, like they did for Soundwave where they were Robot Paradise. And I'm wondering if this is them again.
Could be. But I'm surprised that they have the Red Cross on there. So maybe that's why. Because the Red Cross doesn't really like people using their symbol. But anyway, here we see the Warhorse. So both of these look really good. They have that G1 cartoon aesthetic, but then just so functional.
I'm not a fan of them in alt mode though. Like I just don't. Like they look better in the robot form.
That's where I think the alt mode looks better. It just, I don't know, it looks more cartoony to me.
Yeah.
But and that's why we have so many different ones. Next up, we have Fans Toys. They have FT32C Hook for the Devastator.
Everybody's doing Constructicons.
Yeah. Usually when one company starts doing a combiner, you'll see other companies also do it.
Which is hilarious because I feel like the boom in third party was started with everyone doing a Devastator.
Yeah. And now
there's already a billion of them out there.
But now they have the better engineering. And then we have their FT. Well, here's the alt mode for Hook and his head of Devastator. And then we have here their FT-59 Sovereign 2.0. It's their updated take on Galvatron. And this looks very good, very cartoon accurate. I feel like we've gotten a lot of Galvatrons lately too, but that alt mode looks so good.
And it's positionable too, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually pivot the gun head when he's in alt mode.
And there's a digital colorized version of it. So they're going for the traditional cartoon colors. And you get 9 heads, all the different expressions you can want Galvatron to make.
This looks like it's a t-shirt, like on TeePublic.
Yeah.
Made.
And we have Fans Hobby, which starting off with MB-18A Obsidian Commander. I think we talked about this last week. This was a TFcon exclusive. Basically, they're Energon Optimus Prime, but the Nemesis Prime version. And it's okay. I've never been a fan of the Energon Optimus Prime look. So here you have him with the original one, the Power Commander. And then the MB-29 Blaster Team, which is Payload, Skyblast, and Astroscope. These are the mini cons from Armada that formed the Requiem Blaster. So now they have the shield, the Star Saber, sword, and the blaster. So that's really cool. I think mini cons were one area of Armada that I just kind of bought into and bought a lot of them. And then here we have them with their Meg Tyranno, which is their Armada Megatron. And then Team Reunion, which is that? Oh, that's just a reunion of all the teams. We have the shield, the Star Saber, and the blaster. Now we have MB-25, which is their Energon Wing Saber. So another Star Saber in the work. This looks pretty good. So it's the wing part, I guess. Oh, and this is connecting with the Power Commander.
Yeah, because that was Wing Saber's job in the show. Is he would basically cut himself in half, and then cut himself in half again, and be the arms and legs for Optimus Prime in that show.
Okay, I fell off on the Armada cartoon.
This is Energon.
Or I didn't even go on with Energon.
I watched some of it.
I paid attention to the toys, but I just couldn't do the show.
And
then here we have just MB-25 is going to be coming out in 2025, and then just another view of him combined with Power Commander in another way. All right, Mastermind Creations has their remix tapes, the RMX. I think this was also a TFcon exclusive, I believe. The RMX 19 Ultio Senator, which is Senator Ratbat transforming into a tape. And I saw pictures of the box from TFcon, and the box just looks like a very generic Soundwave in tape mode. I thought that was really cool. And then under their Perfection Series line, we have PS24 Insertus, which is Groove, Protectbot. Looks pretty good. They have Chops, which is Rotor. So that's a GoBot, isn't it?
No, it's the
it's the helicopter.
Right, but it's the RID 2001.
Oh yeah,
it's the arm from Ruination.
Nice. It's been a long time since I thought of the individual combined names on that figure. I've just seen the G1 version.
You're thinking of Coptor, by the way, from GoBots.
Yeah. All right, and then we have PS29 Interfector, which is Bone Crusher. So they've got multiple combiners going. And then their Devastator is called Destructor War Titan, which is a great name. And then their thing on their combiners is this all built-in thing where even the hands and stuff are all part of the figures. They're not things you have to just keep around and just use when you're transforming it. And then there's this Infinity. I hate how they do their logos. It's hard to read. Infinite Infinity.
Sure. I actually do not remember what it's called, but yeah.
It looks like Infinite Infinity. So this is their IF02 Stray, which is their version of Drift. And I mean, it looks like if Drift was a 1980s hatchback, he's not a sports car. So, and that would be the last figure. So, what stands out with this last little bit?
Too many Devastators.
Yeah.
Too many. We've been there. We've done this. And like, I understand, but come on, people. Come on now.
I think that's going to be the title of the show. Too many Devastators.
In terms of this lot, like, it's fine. I'm not into fans toy stuff a lot, or just like regular Masterpiece scaled figures, unless it's a character I really care about. None of them really scratch the itch for me right now. I am a Fans Hobby fanboy, so I love all their stuff. I do not have the Energy Commander, the Energon Optimus Prime. I kind of want one. Seeing Wing Saber now makes me really want to get one, or maybe I'll just get Wing Saber. I don't know. I will almost definitely get the Requiem Blaster, because I have the Armada Prime from them, and I might as well get the Minicon teams because they're cool. And they're an updated version of those Minicon teams, and they're not expensive, and it's just kind of fun to play with them.
Yeah.
I sit here constantly wondering if I should get the Ocular Max Ruination figures, because they did Roll Bar last year, and it's up for order, and now they have a Rotor. And it's just like, I love RID 2001, just like Jeremy does. And I love Bruticus. And like, I have that Ruination figure, and I kind of want a Masterpiece scaled version, because probably never going to see Masterpiece scaled RID 2001 figures, because no one likes it except us.
Well, but they're going to repaint it as well. So I had the Urban Camo version of Ruination. So I will wait until they do that.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Jonesy, what about you in this last section?
I'm a sucker for the cassette tapes. So for like Rat Bat, and then I didn't see the packaging. So I'm also a sucker for like really nice product placement, product packaging as well. So if they actually put this in a simulated cassette deck for Soundwave, like I'm all over that.
It's just a box that just kind of resembles.
But I want it to look like it. And if it looks like it nestles in there, I will be okay with this. Like,
all of them have also come in cassette boxes, like the flip out ones. So,
I love it.
And I want to say these ones are about the same scale as an actual cassette tape.
Oh, really? So they're not the little tiny
no
cassettes or micro cassettes?
No, they made these ones that when they're in their alt form, whether it's the robot or like Ravage or Laserbeak Bird mode, they're supposed to be in scale with that rather than fit into the chest. So it's just an alternate thing to have. So yeah, I think these are actually in scale with normal cassette tapes.
Well, Scott's just selling it for them. I mean, this is working. No, I'm a sucker for them. I just love the creativity when we could take like kind of a real object and actually make it functional. Yeah. And a cassette tape is one of those that always surprised me how well they could make that work. And so I love it, especially with good packaging and stuff. Packaging sometimes makes kind of a nice experience and really makes you think about whether you want to take it out of the box or not. But
right.
But in that, the fantastic model stuff, I thought it looked really good. Ratchet and Ironhide, not as much in the vehicle mode, but I think they look fantastic and like transformed and the posability. And again, very G1 inspired, which is kind of my wheelhouse. But I thought they looked just dynamite. And so I think for collectors may not have one or have had one for a while, it's a pretty good option.
Cool. Yeah. I think for me, I think the the Armada Minicon that I really really like, and then I don't know, it probably would be the Ratchet and Ironhide. Just I think they look fun.
Yeah.
So.
One thing I'll mention, Jeremy, because I'll try and sell you on this. The Armada Minicon teams from Fans Hobby, not only do they have a special spot in the handle for them to be held by the MP scaled Fans Hobby bots, but all of the pegs are 5mm, so normal figures can hold them as well.
Do the Star Saber ones stay together?
Yes.
Okay, because my original ones never did.
Oh no. Well, let's wait till trips to the store.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, before we do that, and I'm just going to move convention news into here, but since we're talking TFcon, they did announce TFcon Chicago 2025, October 24th through 26th, Crown Plaza, Chicago O'Hare Hotel and Conference Center. So I am super excited that they're coming back to Chicago. That's like a 2.5 hour drive for me. And it's always a blast. So looking forward to getting back to that one. I've already put it on my calendar. So I think that is all of the toy related news. So let's finish up the show with trips to the store.
The TransMissions podcast will return after these messages.
Trips to the store is brought to us by TeePublic, our TeePublic store. Go to transmissionspodcast.com and you can get some awesome designs from our show. Like I have our bad guy shirt on. Dr. Pants is the RD 2001 style logo, and Jonesy has Cantina Cast shirts, which is also from TeePublic. So
it is, yes.
You can go to our link and search up Cantina Cast and get any of their awesome designs. So I still love the Disney World looking one that you guys did.
Oh, from Celebration 2022. Yeah.
I didn't go, but I bought the shirt.
Well, and in 2019, the Chicago one used the Chicago skyline instead of the Cantina. So yeah, Albert did a great job on those.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what y'all do for Tokyo, even though I'm not going to get to go anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what Albert's going to do either. That's his job.
Yeah. So that's going to be cool. But go to transmissionspodcast.com/TeePublic, and anything you buy on TeePublic will get a little referral credit. All right. So I'm going to start off, and I thought I had something. My son absconded with it, but I did get the Legacy G1 Universe Optimus Prime. I'll have to show it off next week when I just have the empty box right here. I did think it was a really fun take on G1 Prime. The arms tolerances did scare me a little. It felt like I was bending the plastic a little bit too much, but I'll show it off next week. And I also, as I mentioned earlier, will hopefully have the Knight Rider figure as well.
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be so awesome.
All right. So Jonesy, you have anything?
Yeah, I've got a couple. These are oldies but goodies. So these are the red figures. I've got Megatron and Optimus Prime here. I just like these because they came with really cool accessories. They don't transform or anything like that, of course. But I like I said, I'm a huge fan of the G1 era, of course, like many people are. And I thought they just really captured the spirit of the way they just display well on the figure, on the counters as well on the bookshelf. So
yeah,
I thought they look good. And again, they came with decent accessories, fair price, I thought as well. And so again, a few years old, but still ones I enjoy seeing on my shelves.
Nice. All right, Dr. Pants, redeem this with lots and lots of toys.
Oh, I got more than toys. Let's start off with some gaming accessories. I went to GameStop and I finally bought a CandyCon controller, but not only that, I got the Hot Rod faceplate.
Sweet.
That is, they had them all. It was this one, Devastator, Soundwave, and was it Starscream? I think Starscream might have been the fourth. Or no, it was Jazz. Jazz was the fourth one, but it was between this and the Soundwave one. But I have so much Soundwave and not enough Hot Rod in my life, so I got this. And this controller's pretty nice. It only works with PC and or Switch, but I've used it as a Switch controller and it functions pretty well. I haven't tried it out for PC yet, but it's a nice controller. It's nice and weighty. And you have to buy the CandyCon controller and then you buy the faceplate and buttons separately. and you have to install that, but it was pretty easy. No big deal.
So you could swap it out if you wanted.
Yeah, if I wanted to buy another faceplate, the faceplates are like 15-ish, I think. So it's not that bad. And then they come with matching joysticks and a D-pad to replace that too.
Nice.
So, but yeah, can't argue with a nice controller. What next? I finally, for the first time since I've been a Transformers fan, I have completed a set of Dinobots.
Oh, nice.
I got Studio Series Swoop. So now I have all of the Dinobots. Swoop, there it is, finally. I mean, everybody knows these are good figures. They're big. They all scale well together, and they look great together. I now have all of the Dinobots in the Studio Series line all together. It's my first time having a full set.
Mine too.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Next up, I said I'd show it off, and I have him with my Armada Prime, or have it with my Armada Prime. Here is the Star Saber.
Nice.
Wow. It's pretty faithful to the original. It is better because I had the original. It definitely feels more solid, and the connection here, real nice, real nice. You actually wouldn't think so when you first look at it, but it connects in really, really well. And I mean, it looks good. It scales really well with the nice big Armada Prime here. But as I told you all, they come with a peg that makes them work with normal figures. So I can take that Star Saber, and as he's the only one here, we'll put him in Swoop's hand. And Swoop can hold it.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you have any of the other Armada figures in Legacy, like the Commander Class Prime or the Megatron or even the Starscream, I have the Starscream. I will say the only issue I have with that is it kind of doesn't hold well because the Star Saber's a little heavy. Star Saber's a little heavy for him, but it's cool that you can do that. And next up, I got Legacy Dino King, the HasCon exclusive. Since they announced the Dinobots, I've been waiting for this because we all know that I love me the Japanese Transformer series, so I needed more for my Transformers Victory Shelf, and I got me the Dino King,
little baby Dino King.
I mean, he was a Micromaster combiner because he was based off Monstructor, so he was tiny to begin with.
Oh.
So I don't mind him being tiny. When they announced those Dinobots, it's like they're doing a Dino King. That's the only reason Grimlock would be a leg. They were doing Dino King, so I got Dino King. He's cool. He stays together fairly well too. For anybody who has the Dinobot combiners, like I'm sure they know, but like this holds together a lot better than you would imagine something so small. It's kind of ingenious how it worked together.
Nice.
And then another one. This is my last one for tonight. I got another one of the Iron Factory Lio Kaiser boys. This is Kill Bison. Turns into a little tank. He's a little tiny boy, and he is a member of the Breast Force, which means that chest piece comes off and forms a tiny little bull. See if I can do this really quick. Of course, in America, we're calling it the Chest Force now, which is stupid. Cowards. It's the Breast Force. Don't be like that. Yep, there we go. Tiny little bull.
Nice.
Now, my favorite part of this whole figure is all of these have come with multiple hands. And Kill Bison came with the most important hand of them all. He can flip you off. Because in the cartoon, at some point when he transforms into robot mode, he crouches down and flips off the main characters.
Nice.
So he does.
It's not an articulated hand. It's just a dedicated middle finger hand.
It's a dedicated hand to give you the finger.
That's awesome.
This is the second one of these I've had, and I just want to say I wasn't a big fan of Drillhorn. He was kind of a mess to transform and whatnot, but Kill Bison, a lot better. He's much more fun to play with, much more fun to pose. It is still very much cheating the combiner because he is a whole leg. There's the leg behind me. That's the actual Leo Kaiser leg, and he just slots into it. He does not turn into a leg. You just take the tank mode and... But I don't care. Give me a good Leo Kaiser. That's all I want.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that is all I have to show off today. So I hope I redeemed it a little bit.
Yeah, I think you did. All right. So I think that will do it for the transmissions this week. Before we go, Jonesy, why don't you give Cantina Cast a plug and tell us what you guys are up to?
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, we're getting ready for Skeleton Crew, which is, of course, coming out in December. So actually, later tonight, we're doing a live stream to break down the trailer that came out just recently as well. But you can find, if you like deep dive Star Wars content, we're generally pretty positive as well. So we don't get into the whole criticisms of everything. We critique it if necessary, but generally we're pretty positive, really break down the characters and the stories and things like that. Pretty detailed as well. So if you like kind of long format shows, especially for a podcast or a live streams, either one, we'd love for you to come out and check us out. You can find everything you need to know over at cantinacast.com. And appreciate you having me on the show. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. I look forward to the discussion about Major Tom translated to Huttese.
That was unexpected.
Yeah. So I don't know if you
What?
Yeah, the song that they played at the beginning of the official trailer was Major Tom, but about halfway through it, all of a sudden it's all in Huttese rather than just the music. It was very different, a very different trailer than we're used to with Star Wars. So
yeah,
a very new adventure about to kick off.
Goonies in Star Wars.
Okay.
All right. Dr. Pants, while your mind is blown, what's going on with Nerdstradamus?
We've been doing things. Surprise, surprise. We have actually put out videos lately. Please check us out, Nerdstradamus on YouTube. There is a link. If you're watching this video, you can see there's a Linktree link right below my name. It's also in the show notes. If you go there, you'll find all our links to everything. There's been some music put out. My co-host Lambo did the 13 Days of Spoop, where he talked about all his favorite horror things. And we also put out our own horror movie. It is out on the Nerdstradamus channel. It's about 15 minutes long. It is an award-winning indie horror film, directed and written by my co-host Lambo, and I got to star in it. So,
congratulations!
Thank you. I mean, he won the award. I was just there. So, good for him. Good for him.
Awesome. Well, so thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we also want to thank our Masterpiece Donatrons for the people that donate at the highest level. And we couldn't do the show without you. So thank you to John Forex, Levingood, Demon Tech 82, and Steve C. You guys are awesome. And we will talk to everyone next, or I guess on Friday, where we're going to be reviewing Destro number 5. And Daryl will be happy to have missed another G.I. Joe. So.
Coward.
All right.
So, TFcon.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.